What is up, party people? Welcome back to Saturdays and Seltzers. My name is Kendra Middleton, and I am joined by my co-host, Sarah Griffin. Sarah, how are we?
Just dandy. How are we?
I'm good. I actually have an apology that I'd like to make to our listeners.
You do? For what?
I do. Okay, I didn't tell you about this. So I am actually so stupid, and nobody said anything. I just was like thinking about it back. I actually had a really shitty take last week. I didn't realize how late it was, or how early it was still before the playoffs, like how much time there is until like the NHL goes into the playoffs. For some reason, my mind automatically always assumes that the week the NBA goes into playoffs, NHL does too. And when we were talking about the Bruins last week, I was like thinking that they had like a little bit more pressure and the season still wasn't so long. So I want to apologize. I had a bad take last week talking about the Bruins injury, like stuff kind of maybe being needed to be rushed. I didn't realize how much time was left in the season. I just, for some reason, in my mind, every year, NBA and NHL, I feel like it's every other night that there's something. But this, like the past two seasons have just been so strange.
Yeah, I feel like it's hard for them to line up just because I know the NHL season, like this is probably the first year that I feel like things are feeling a little more normal. But yeah, I agree. Usually it kind of does overlap, it feels like, and it does overlap eventually, but right now.
Yeah. So that was on me. I just didn't realize because the Sharks, I feel like have been so bad. I have only been watching like the Bruins in the big games. I feel like I just haven't been watching everything as much as I have with basketball. And I just didn't even think about it. So I wanted to apologize. I respect people who podcast or reporters and stuff like that who can call themselves out. So I wanted to go ahead and get that out of the way. If you are new here, we do a segment every week called High, Low, Hero. So something good that happened to you as your high, your low, and then something unexpectedly good that happened to you. Sarah, what is your HLH this week while I finish my lunch?
I have two highs. One was opening day, even though they lost, I had a great fucking time. And then also Marathon Monday, I had a great fucking time. I felt like shit all Tuesday. Like I was not well Tuesday, but good times to be had. So those were my two highs.
Where did you go? Because we didn't run into each other at all.
I like was just at Fenway. Like we just kind of bar hopped around there. We got in there like super early. Actually, that kind of ties in with my hero. So me and Colleen, that's one of the girls I'm living with. She's from the town right over next to me. So we like took the train in super early that morning together. And we got there, and obviously it's Marathon Monday, like pretty much every street's like shut down. And we were going to take, because we got off at South Station, and you know, the nearest green line is Copley. Copley was closed because of the marathon. And they're like, oh, just like walk, just follow the Red Sox jerseys, whatever. We like looked, and it was like a 40-minute walk. And we're like, I'm not fucking doing that. Because also we had already started drinking and stuff. I'm like, no, I don't trust either of us to get us there. So we were like, oh, like Uber, because one, they'd be $100+ fucking dollars, and two, no streets are open. So we were just kind of like wandering around, like, I don't know what to do. And what, you know how they have those biker guys who can like, I have never ridden on one of those before. That was my first time, and we just took it, and I was like, I want to transport myself this way every time. This is amazing.
How much was it?
So it was tip based. We asked him like, what do you pay? And he's like, tip me however much you want. Like on average, people tip usually like $30-$40. So we tipped up 50 since it's Marathon Monday. We went pretty far going from South Station to Fenway, but we got there in less than 10 minutes. It was nuts. And like all the streets were closed too, obviously. So he was just like bolting down all the roads. It did feel like we were going to tip over at one point, but I'm like, this is a nice adrenaline rush for the morning.
Okay. Better than like a cup of Joe.
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah. Okay.
So that was my hero.
Okay. Love it. My HLH, my high was, so the Revs invited me out for like their Red Bull event for Marathon Monday at Citrus and Salt. So I went and I brought my friend Chrissy. You know Chrissy. I feel like the podcast knows Chrissy at this point. Shout out Chrissy. She is just so herself, and I love her so much, but she like doesn't know sports really, but she's trying. Like she is like a friend of mine who I will say like is super hard trying, and I respect her for it. But so at lunch, it was like me, her, and then Josie Altidore, who is like, if you know soccer, Team USA, like you, or the Revs, like you know who he is. And Chrissy had like a 30-minute conversation with him. And when we left, I was like, did you know who that was? And she was like, no. And I was like, that is so dope. Like, that is so dope. And it was my first marathon Monday. I think I finally kind of feel like a Bostonian. So I feel like that's kind of cool. I don't know. Monday was good. And there were so many good, like, feel good stories that came out of it.
Yeah.
And yeah, like, it's just a cool day. And it was my first one. So I think that that's kind of, I feel like I live here.
Aw.
I know. Cute, tender from me. Who would have thought? So that was my high. My low, outside of Monday, this week in general sucks for me. Like, I obviously, if you follow me on the internet, like, my friend passed away 3 years ago this week. So it's like, well, she didn't pass away. She went into the hospital and then eventually passed away. So it's just like a weird week for me. And like Snapchat memories always pass up and I like can't not look at them. So like, I know that's like terrible for my mental health, but like we keep it real around here. So I just wanted to be like, it's okay to like not be okay all the time. I certainly am not okay this week, so I'm trying to prioritize myself. But with that, my life is a freaking mess because I'm leaving for Vegas in like 5 days and I'm trying to like get all this work done and pack and like all of that crap. So I don't know, traveling, especially when you know you're going to be on camera a lot, is just really stressful.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I know you feel that too.
Oh yeah, anytime I'm traveling, whether I'm on camera or not, I get stressed, like very, very stressed. So
yeah. So, and like, I can't talk about it yet, but a lot of really cool people are going to this. So I'm just so excited, but also so stressed. And then my hero, I went to the House of Blues last Thursday with a bunch of my friends, and I'm not like a huge EDM fan. Like, I'll listen to it. Like, I can enjoy any kind of music live. But I like don't really listen to it on my own unless I'm like need like something like that for a video that I'm working on or something. But I went to see Alice in Wonderland and I actually had a really good time. So I expected to like have a fun time. Like, it's a concert with your friends. Like, it was my friend's birthday, whatever. But like, I had like an unexpectedly good time.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. So that was my HLH this week. Are you drinking anything?
No, I'm just having water.
Yeah, I ripped a bowl before the show because it's 421, which is the day after 420, and we usually like, I don't know, do something for this show. So I was like, yeah, fuck it. What else is new for me? Plus, all of my girly friends that live close to me are coming over after we record, and we're going for a sunset walk. So we're hot girl walking together, but someone's gonna bring a joint or something. So I'm just pre-gaming the post game. So that's my Thursday night, other than watching basketball. We have so much baseball stuff to talk about. I feel like it's mostly Red Sox. I don't really know where to start. So I think I'm going to start with the fuck Kyrie chants. The relentlessness of them every single night has been so funny. Like, you can even hear them on the broadcast.
Oh, well, we were sitting outside. It was on Monday. I think we were at Cask and Flagon or something, just sitting at one of the tables outside. And you could perfectly hear it just as you're like sitting out there, like clear as day, the fuck Kyrie chants. And yeah, it's not like super far or anything, but still, like, everyone was like, oh yeah, like if people on the street started chanting it, it was wild.
Did you go to the game?
No.
You just hung out? Yeah. I feel like that probably would have been the play if I weren't going to Citrus and Salt. I feel like just going down to Fenway and like listening to the game and like chilling at a bar and posting up is perfect.
Oh yeah, we just bar hopped all around there. We ended up staying at Cask and Flagon for a few hours, but because I really wanted to go to the game, it was just like $130 just for bleachers, and I'm like, I'd rather just spend that on like alcohol.
Yeah. Okay, so I know I want to talk about this. The fact that the Sox have lost the home opener, they lost on Marathon Monday, and they lost on Jerry Remy night. That sucks, but it's also concerning for me.
See, I'm like opposite. I'm not concerned. I'm not worried yet. You can go because I like
See,
have
yeah. See, my thoughts are like, I feel like, obviously, I feel like I don't know if it's injury or if I don't know if it's mental, something wrong with Xander Bogaerts, but I feel like it's the fact that like potentially something is going on with their leader. It just feels really off to me. And it's like, it doesn't matter what it is. Like, it's something that's wrong with him and he's supposed to be like their leader. I feel like they're not clutching up on clutch nights. Like, sure, they've won some games. It's early in the year. I don't think it's time to panic yet, but that like lack of ability to clutch up at a lot of points this season is where I'm kind of like, something just feels off. And it's like, don't get me wrong, I'm not freaking out yet. Obviously, last season, they weren't great in the beginning of the year either. They made the playoffs because of that second half of the season push. But it's just the vibe or like the energy around the team to me just feels like something is missing.
See, I forget who I was listening to talk to. It wasn't a Red Sox player. It was someone else. I think it was a reliever, but he's like, I don't think people are like factoring just how much that delayed spring training start is. He was like, especially for pitching, that I know obviously it takes a while for them to rev back up. He's like, but also for the bats, like you had your shortened spring training and you're just thrown into games right off the bat. Your season's delayed, especially these older guys get so used to that routine of everything. And I was looking into it because I was kind of like, I feel like the Red Sox bats are starting to finally warm up now. As of recently, I think Xander's 10 for 23 in his last at bat. So I feel like he's slowly getting back up there. He had that one really bad game, especially defensively. And then he came out and hit like a 2-run bomb or something the next game. And I feel like he knows he's still kind of competing for that shortstop position now, especially with Trevor Story. And there's that whole narrative all on the side. So I'm sure that's definitely something that's weighing on him in that aspect. But then also like Kike, I feel like kind of had like a slow start, and now he's already at like 6 doubles, home run, single. Like he's starting to find his way. Verdugo looks really good. Devers is Devers. He always looks good. And like JBJ, he's obviously one of the streakiest hitters in the game. But I feel like he's starting off at a really high point for him, at least, to the point where I'm like, okay, again, like it is still so early. They did have that whole like delay. I'm not so worried. Like I'm not even like the game's like, okay, like Marathon Monday, like yeah, it sucks they lost, but I'm like, this is like what their like 5th home game they've played. So I'm just like, for them, it almost feels like we're in like the first week of April in their mind. So I'm like, whatever, I won't be that worried. I don't know. As of right now, the only concern I really have is I think starting pitching's taking a little longer than I wanted to warm up. But again, like that, I wish I could remember what pitcher was saying it, but he was like, yeah, like people don't realize how much that impacted us. He's like, especially as pitchers. And the only one I think like out of the starting rotation that I really be like, is Nick Pivetta. And his last start, I feel like after his second inning, the velocity was back up and he just looked a lot more himself. Like obviously opening day was super unfortunate for him and that sucked to watch. But again, you have to get the duds out of the way. And I feel like they're still just kind of figuring things out, finding their footing. So I am like, whatever. And I did end up looking at the Red Sox like offensive stats. I think they're slugging like 377. Like the Giants are like 372. And I feel like, okay, that's like around a good place for both those clubs. And like the Red Sox lineup, especially the bottom of the lineup, I know we said it last week, like they're tough to watch a little bit, but I think it's starting to come together.
See, I like your point about the delay, but my issue here is like we've gotten to maybe this point where things are warming up, right? But now because of the team's vaccination status or lack thereof, COVID is now going through the team again. And it's like it's early in the season for that because now people and their immunity is like 90 days or whatever, and that concerns me. But it's the fact that also who they have to play and who they have to get through coming up. It's like they're about to go to Toronto where we know there's issues with vaccine status. And on top of that, the Yankees all got vaccinated in preparation to go to Toronto. So it's like now here we are where things are finally, looking up at a point where you have to go to Toronto and you have to play the Blue Jays, who are obviously a great team. Now this, and it's like, that just kind of plays into that concern for me, but I do understand your point about the delay for sure.
Yeah, and with the vaccine thing, the only person that really concerns me in regards to that right now that we know of is Tanner Houck. Obviously, they already said he's not going to make his scheduled start he's not vaccinated. Chris Sale, we don't have to worry about because he's not coming back anytime soon. But like Xander, JD, all those guys that last season, no one was really quite sure. I know they're all vaccinated. So I guess it's just Tanner Houck and whoever else. I'm guessing it's probably going to be a couple more pitchers, if anything. It seems like pretty much the whole lineup is all set in that aspect, which is good because, like I said, the bats seem to finally be starting to come together and come to life there. But yeah, I feel like it's kind of hard for the pitching to get into groove if not everyone can be performing when you're going to be playing the Blue Jays however many times this season, considering they're in the AL East.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's going to be weird to see how it shakes out. Like, I mean, unfortunately, I hate to be one of those people that plays into like the new reality, whatever, but it's like, it's just another season where that's something that people have to think about. And it's just, I don't know. We'll see. I am trying to read through our notes and see if we have anything else Red Sox related. Did you have anything else you want to talk about?
No, I think the only other thing I really had Red Sox related was, the bullpen, I think is still in audition mode. I'm really not taking pretty much any performance there. I'm kind of taking it with a grain of salt. The only person that's really stood out to me is Phillips Valdez. He's been great. His ERA is still 0. I think he's pitching right now, actually. I think he's looked really good to earn himself a permanent spot because last year he was very much up and down. Now, I think he ended the season permanently in Buster. I think he's making a good name for himself. Matt Barnes still is cool. Oh, also, actually, speaking of the Red Sox live, I feel like their biggest issue, like hitting wise, it's not even hitting. It's they cannot draw walks for the life of them. And they need to figure out discipline at the plate because it's painful to watch.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I have that's my biggest, as well.
That's my biggest complaint, I think, actually, with them is they cannot draw fucking walks.
Yeah, 100%. I feel like, I agree with you. Especially Devers has been in a few of those situations that I've been like, that was tough. So yeah. Oh, we want to talk about the Orsillo thing. I have very mixed feelings about this. I want to know your thoughts before I tell you mine.
I mean, mine, I feel like it's probably the same as to what a lot of people on like Red Sox Twitter is, just because I grew up watching Jerry and Don. Like, we have like pictures of them in our houses. Like, we have the bobblehead and stuff. Like, that's how I remember Red Sox baseball. And when I think of Jerry Remy, like, yeah, it's been years now since he ever called a game with Don, but that was like peak. Like, they were the best, like the funniest, like some of the funniest moments. And Don obviously is killing it out in San Diego, but it's not like he's completely disregarded the Red Sox, but I think they've disregarded him. You know, it was such a huge thing when NESN let him go, and that was not well perceived. Like, it was honestly, there's people as upset, if not more, like with the Mookie situation with Don Orsillo, and I completely understand that. And I looked into it today just to kind of like see what the whole story was. And obviously he couldn't be there because he's with the Padres, and they were like, no, like, we still want you a part of this. And so he sent the Red Sox the video, and they, I guess, just like didn't respond. And then Sam Kennedy came out this morning and was like, oh no, we just didn't have enough time. It's like, okay, you do like, you make time for Don Orsillo, because when people think Jerry Remy, they think Don Orsillo. Though the two go with each other, and that's how a lot of people were raised on those two. So
yeah, that was going to be my point, is that when I think about Jerry Remy, that's what I think about, even as like an outsider. Mm-hmm. But I did see the Sox, like, I don't know what her title is, like, but it's like the top of like their PR department tweeted something today about how they originally weren't planning on doing videos or something like that. And then they wound up doing it. And it wasn't that they didn't invite him, but he wasn't available, which is because of his job with the Padres, because you guys fired him. So it's like, I don't know. Do I think that they should have to make it a time he's available? No. So like, I could see how like people on the outside, from what I've seen, not on Red Sox Twitter, is like people say he might be like overreacting a little bit, but I'm like, I don't know. I think that NESN needed to tuck their tails for a minute. And I know that that's probably going to bite me in the ass for saying, but that's how I feel.
See, I was talking with a couple of my friends today about it, and we're like, the Red Sox, are going to twist it whatever way they want. you are never like when it comes down to the Red Sox like front office and all that versus Don Orsillo, there is not a single person I know who's not going to pick Don Orsillo. Like live or die by him. Like that's just how it is. They can come up with any excuse in the book. Not one person's going to believe it. And even if we did, we're like, fuck you, don't care. Like you fucked us over already by letting Don go, and now you're fucking him over again on a night that's paying tribute to his broadcast partner and a good friend. So
yep. Yeah. That's tough. That would hurt my feelings.
Yeah.
That would hurt my feelings. And I am woman enough to say it, baby. What do we want to talk about next? We have so much baseball stuff. Shohei Ohtani is just really cool. Like we talk about him all the time, but like he just keeps doing stuff that's like cool. And I'm like, he's so cool.
I agree. He is so cool. I love him.
Like he's just so cute. Okay, I don't know if I talked about this on the show or not yet. I didn't know that if you play MLB The Show, you have to have him. You don't get to like take him as a pitcher and a hitter. You have to take him as like either. Yeah,
see, that's one of the few video games I have actually played, and I was pissed about that when I first realized it.
Yeah. So I like that was crazy. I didn't know that. And I was like, that's how cool he is. Like that's I just love him. I don't know. We can talk. Yeah, I don't know. What do you want to talk about? Oh, I do want to like rag on the Red Sox broadcast the other night because I was listening to it and Eck was making fun of the Giants last season because he said something about the amount of wins they had or whatever and got corrected. I could like hear him like adjust himself in his ear. Someone told him how many wins they actually had. And he was like 107. The Giants, no way. And I was just like, oh, come on, man. Like, come on. So that was a little bit of a stab in the heart. You have some Yankee stuff you want to talk about?
Yeah, it was announced today the Yankees letter is going to be made public. Basically, this is a whole thing that's, I want to say it's been going on for the last year now. I guess it's some letter that like is detailing like all this like cheating the Yankees were supposedly doing over the last few years. And somehow it's been just like kept under wraps because their legal department, I don't know. It's been this whole big thing. And I know at this point now, I've seen some Yankee fans like, good, let it out. Like, what the fuck? So these people can stop holding it over our heads, saying we're cheaters when no one knows what's in it. I'm not going to have like crazy high standard. I don't think it's going to be some bombshell. I'm sure it'll have some interesting things, but at the same point, I'm a Red Sox fan. They've been in 2 cheating scandals now in the last like 10 years alone. Yeah. If the Yankees came out as cheating, I'm not like, sure, I'll clown on them a little bit, but like fucking same. I don't know. Unless it's like some insane thing like the Astros cheating scandal where it's like this elaborate thing, which I don't think it is. The Yankees have not won a World Series, so clearly it's not working for them. Yeah. I don't know. I think it'll be interesting to see. I think it's weird how this whole thing's kind of just been like held up in the air as the Yankees letter that no one knows what's in it. Like that's very weird to me. And that it's all of a sudden becoming public in 7 days.
Yeah. All right. Anything else?
Oh, just this isn't like anything like big. Joey Votto, I don't know if you follow him on TikTok and like social media and whatnot. He has been on fire this season on TikTok, especially. But so he met Joe Burrow recently because obviously, he plays for Cincinnati. And he, I guess, asked Joe Burrow, like, oh, like, do you want to be my TikTok? And Joe Burrow was like, aren't you a little old to be on TikTok?
No.
Which is hilarious.
No.
I was just like, his social media is hilarious. You should follow him on TikTok. It's really funny.
Okay,
it's good.
I'll follow
and he's
him.
marketing himself so well. And I feel like a lot of people are now not getting into baseball, but like he's now a player that more people know because he's all over TikTok and like doing all these funny things. Now. And he's hanging out with Joe Burrow after the game.
Okay, so actually, you're gonna hate me for this. That actually hurts my feelings on Joe Burrow's part because like TikTok's really cool, you old fart.
Like, no.
Hello.
I feel like he was just like clowning because Joey Votto does look super old, but like he was like, all right, man. Like they took like a picture together and stuff. Like it was cute, but like I feel like Joe Burrow also just isn't a social media guy at all.
You the only one that like when you want to learn how to do something or need to know something, you look it up on TikTok instead of YouTube now?
See, I never was a big YouTube person, so I always just go to TikTok anyways.
Okay. Yeah, I feel like whenever I need to know something, like I'd always go to YouTube and now I go to TikTok.
Yeah, you can type anything into TikTok, it just pops right up.
And it's less than 3 minutes. I'll take
That's
it.
the thing. I'm like, it keeps my attention span. That's why I don't do well with YouTube. It will be like 10-minute videos. I'm like, no,
Yeah, I can't do
I'm
it.
not. No.
All right, cool. I have a couple NFL things I want to talk about, but I think you might have seen most of these, so let's go. Did you see Marshawn Lynch driving the Zamboni?
Oh, I got an email the other day at work, and it was literally just titled Macklemore and Marshawn Lynch. There is no other context to it, and I like that was the email I woke up to, and I was like, "Hello." I'm like, what is this? And then yeah, it was something about like, oh, they're now investors in the team. And then I went on Twitter and I saw the Zamboni video.
He is my favorite NFL player of all time. Like, no questions asked. My favorite.
Funny.
He's so funny. I just love his personality. The videos of him after he got fined $100,000 for skipping media day to go to Chick-fil-A are my favorite thing in the whole world. So yeah, if you haven't seen that, it was iconic. Go watch it. Also, speaking of Joe Burrow, did you see him in the background of those wedding photos? If you haven't seen this, Joe Burrow was in the background of this couple's like wedding photo shoot, like golfing, and just was very blatantly, just obviously there and did not care. And it was so funny.
No, he really was. Because I saw the TikTok and yeah, it was like he was close too.
I
like,
know,
super close. I'm like
in the photos, 100%.
I'd like get in here.
Yeah, it's true. I wonder if they knew that it was him though.
They must have. If someone is filming and like zooming in, like they must have been made aware of it at some point.
Yeah, that's true. I feel like I would rip my marriage certificate in half and just run over there.
Oh, I'd be like, get the fuck off me.
Yeah, I'd be like, yeah, I don't know this guy.
Like a photo shoot just for like
for a magazine. That's definitely what I would do. So yeah, I thought that was pretty funny. I saw that Deebo Samuel wants out of San Francisco. Jacksonville fans have been freaking out, trying to come up with every which way possible we could afford this man. And I'm like, listen, it's not going to happen. Like, it's not happening. I would love if it did. And I will eat my shoe if I'm wrong. I would literally like gladly, but it's not happening. But I could see him in our beloved city of our beautiful beloved city, Philadelphia.
The city of brotherly love. Bring him in.
Literally our favorite place on earth.
Eagles.
What is like we talk about Philly every week somehow. And we could probably be besties with Joel Embiid. Like it gets better and better every day.
Like, what's stopping us? I don't know.
And it seems affordable. Like,
I know I've been sending you because those TikTok apartments. I'm like, I think I'm on Philly TikTok.
Yes. Now I'm on Philly TikTok.
Like, you need to go to this bar and like why am I seeing them? I was like, okay, bookmark just in case.
And you love the strippers in Philly.
I do. What's not to love?
I'm like, we'll send it.
I'm like, we honestly just get like an Airbnb for a month and just like live in Philly for the month.
Why do I want to do that?
That'd be so fucking fun.
What's the best time of year in Philly?
Someone let us know. I feel like
okay.
We should go when football season happens.
Yes. We should go in like October because it's football, baseball, and hockey at the same and preseason basketball. We could just knock it out.
Yeah.
And there's lots of colleges in Philly. We could go watch college lacrosse.
Perfect.
Oh my God. Wow. Okay, we're moving to Philly. Sold for a month. Yep, we're gonna do it. Yes. So just wanted to say, I feel like the Jaguars. I have some tea I need to tell you that I can't talk about on the air yet.
Mm-hmm.
So remind me because of this to tell you later. Slash
Okay.
Tyler. Actually, Tyler, when you're editing this, text us and I will spill this tea. But
Yes.
I want to talk about the Jags draft because so much has changed and so many people are saying so much different shit. I feel like we're going to take Trayvon Walker and I'm kind of upset about it. I would rather take less of a project in someone. And Tyler and I are going to do a draft show next week at some time, probably a
Ooh.
Tequila Tuesday. When's the PLL draft?
I don't think they've announced it yet. It should be coming up within the next month, though.
Okay, what if we made next week like draft week? We could
Well,
have
the
okay.
only thing I don't want to like.
Oh, yeah. You're right. Yes. Okay. How about if we might have a guest next week that's pretty exciting for a lot of our fans. Well, most of you, some of you. Anyways, okay, if that knock on wood doesn't work out or we wind up doing it the week after, what if we could get Mackie on and you guys could do our regular show for the PLL draft?
Okay.
And Tyler and I could do a Tequila Tuesday for the NFL draft.
Down.
Because I'll be in Vegas.
Yeah.
So I think we just found our solution.
I'm like, obviously all pending on.
Yes. Tea. Piping hot. Actually, I'm going to post this clip on our socials because I want people to guess who we might be having on. And the thing is that you know why nobody will get it right. And I know why nobody will get it right, but I know why our fans will be excited. So there's your hint. Take a guess. Draft week next week right here on SNS. Tyler text me as well and let's pick a day. Tyler sent me a Snapchat yesterday of his draft notes. And I have to say, our intern is bussin'. Certified bussin'. Also, Tyler and I are going to Vegas. Please pray for us with all of my friends. I keep telling everyone that like intern Tyler's coming and they're so excited. Everyone's like, holy shit, like the infamous intern Tyler. And I'm like, yeah. And they're like,
the
all right.
intern Tyler.
The intern Tyler. So anyways, I guess we can just go ahead and start talking about lacrosse right here because we're talking about lacrosse already. I saw lots of retirements going on and I see that you have them in our notes.
Yeah, so now this is the 14th retirement since last season, which that's fucking insane.
I can't even count that high.
Jordan Wolf is retiring after a 7-year professional career. He was with the Chrome. I think we've mentioned a few times the Chrome, like obviously they have the top pick. They finished last season. They missed the playoffs. So I am very interested to see what their approach is going to be with the draft because they have like holes and gaps everywhere now. And they're yes.
Welcome back to another edition of me raising my hand. I don't want to forget this, and I know you're going to keep ranting, but I'm just going to say it now. I'm officially a Chrome fan. PLL certified team. I'm locked. I feel like I can't be a Whipsnakes fan. They're too cool. I need to wait for the Chrome to be good. And the Jaguars have the first pick and they have the first pick and both of their uniforms are really cool. So I'm officially locked in on Chrome.
Chromes have a sick uniform and helmet. So that's a good pick.
Yep. All right. That's it. I'm sold. My loyalty forever has now been given. The end. Anyways, continue.
I feel like if they're smart, they'll go about the way Ben Rubar did with the Atlas, because the Atlas kind of had, not that they had a ton of retirements or anything, but they had like an older roster. And that was when like Paul Rabel was still on there. And then he went to the Cannons. And again, like they had this roster that was built like looking like it should be like super successful. And they just didn't have that success. And he kind of just went like clean slate, got a bunch of young guys in there, you know. Now they got Jeff Teat, Jay Carraway, and then you still have guys like Eric Law to balance that all out. You know, then they have Trevor Baptiste, who's already one of the best, like if not the best in the league. He won face-off guy last year, and they came so close in what a year not was like a rebuild year for them, but no one expected them to make a huge playoff run, and they were just one win away from going to the championship game. I had them in the championship over the Chaos actually, and I think I said that they are my pick for this year for the championship, but I feel like the Chrome, they do have kind of a different situation going on because their roster, it's not like they had a billion superstars on it or anything. They had a very strong roster, but again, it was older and now they're without a lot of those guys. So I feel like take that approach of kind of like creativity with the young guys, then it worked for the Atlas. Fuck it. Why won't it work for the Chrome?
Okay.
That's how I see about that. But I will say it's insane of those 14 retirements over the last season, just like how many like of those are such big names between like him, Paul Rabel, Kyle Harrison, all guys like that. It's weird, wild. On the same note, kind of pertaining to PLL draft, they put out a ranking of the top 5 goaltenders for the PLL draft, and I was a little upset, as I know many people on lacrosse Twitter were. Brett Dobson, who we talked about last week, was ranked number 4. No. Okay, no. No. I've seen people say it. They're like, I've talked to some people and they're like, he is maybe number 2. They're like, but easily he's number 1. Like, he is the obvious number 1 choice. I don't know what stats someone is looking at to look at and be like, number 4. And I know I shouldn't read much into this, but like, this is just straight up disrespectful. Okay. And like, Owen McElroy for Georgetown is great too. And he's a lovely, lovely goaltender. I think the two are very close to number 1, but the season Brett Dobson is having, he is number 1. Okay. I just wanted to get that out there.
Hey. I feel you, sister. I don't, but like, there you go. I respect the grind and the rant as always. I see we have, can we talk about Jeff T first?
We'll start with Jeff T. So for NLL, another great weekend for the boy. I think
Wonder Boy.
He pretty much has Rookie of the Year locked up now at this point,
because
it was super, super close between him, Reed Bowering, Patrick Dodds. But then after that game against the Bandits, I remember I wrote in Team of the Week last week, I was like, if that wasn't kind of like sealing the deal for Rookie of the Year, I think it's pretty much one step away. Now you had another 10-point game. You had the game-winning goal, 3 goals, 7 assists. Again, it was against Rochester, who's also at the bottom. But he's just nuts. And he makes it look so fucking easy and effortless. I'm like, to be talented. And to be Jeff T.
Yeah, and you have in our notes that Halifax hasn't clinched yet and that they play the Riptide this weekend. So he also has an opportunity to earn some clout there.
That is true, yeah. So Halifax hasn't clinched yet, and the Storm are right on their heels. And Halifax, I think, are on they did recently win a game. I'm like, who is on a 5-game losing streak? Oh, the Seals, but we'll get to that. But yeah, Halifax just has not looked great. They're in the playoffs. They're not going to go very far based off of what I've seen. But I would love to see the Storm playoffs. I just like their roster. And obviously, I love Lyle Thompson. And any chance at watching him play playoffs lacrosse, I would love to see. But so Halifax is playing the Riptide, but then the Swarm is playing Panther City, who Panther City is still holding on for that playoff contention in the Western Division. They were almost out of it last week. I think if they lost the game last week, then that would have been it. But they pulled out the win. I think Phil Caputo had like 3-4 goals, like something nuts. He like carried their offense there. So they're still holding on. The Roughnecks obviously clinched. They're a fucking unit. They're the team that went over a month without playing for a while, so no one kind of really knew what to expect. They've won like 5 in a row now, I think. They look really good. Plus, they have Zach Courier, who is one of the best, if not the best player in the league right now, just in general. Not just at any specific position, like literally in general. And then the Seals, who were at the top and like dominating the Western Conference for so long, are now at number 2, the Mammoths number 1. And they've lost their last 5 games, which is tough. They're playing Saskatchewan this weekend in Saskatchewan. I think it had, like, obviously they've already clinched playoffs, whatever, but now it's a matter of, like, okay, like, do we get home field advantage? Like, what's the momentum we're coming in right now into playoffs? So imagine going into playoffs having lost, like, 6-7 games in a row.
Yeah, you can't. We talk about all the time, needing to be like in certain sports when you can peak and when you need to be peaking, and if you can peak twice in a season, and it's absolutely possible, but like you cannot go into a playoff series with that mentality at all. Like I don't care what sport it is, you cannot.
And for so long it was like, oh, it's going to be a Bandits Seals championship game, like, and a lot of people had the Seals as their favorite. I'm like, if it is a Bandits Seals, I'm taking the Bandits 10 billion times out of 10 billion times. Like, just the way those Seals have looked right now. Their offense, I think, have just been very quiet. They had that offensive explosion for weeks and they looked so good, and like they have very good goaltending. But I think it really is just their offense is kind of like gone to sleep a little bit. And it's been pretty close games for the most part, but they've just been like blowing the lead. That's the other thing. Like they'll finally catch up and then just give it back away. So this is a must win for them. And I think they kind of just have to win this one and keep that momentum rolling on out, because they are not near as scary as they were like even a month ago.
Yeah, it's true. Lots of seasons starting to wind down. Anything else about lacrosse?
Nope, that's all I got.
All right, cool. Yeah, speaking of seasons winding down, NHL, obviously things are starting to get a little crazy. I have in our notes that I feel like these, do you feel like the playoffs have just like a weird feeling this year?
I feel like the first round does. I feel like honestly, all the like best matchups are going to be the first round just based off of what they look like right now.
Yeah, I feel like it's starting to shape like we're gonna have kind of like a new face as a champion, in my opinion.
God, I fucking hope so. Because I like think back to last year, and like, because I feel like NHL playoffs are always wild. Like they're the hardest. It's the hardest cup to win, whatever. But I'm like, the fucking Montreal Canadiens were in the finals last year, and like now you look at just the first round matchups alone this year, they're fucking insane. Like it's, I don't think it'll be the Lightning this year. I hope to God not. No. Just because there are way too many teams that are powerhouses that have consistently looked so much better than the Lightning this year.
Yep. We both have some Bruins notes, so I guess we can start there. I think I know that the Bruins are getting healthier as they approach the playoffs, but like I'm just still, something is not right for me. Swayman obviously hasn't looked great, in my opinion, in the last few weeks. I know that he's playing tonight, and Olmark's supposed to be back Saturday.
Yeah.
So that's huge there. I don't know. Something feels right. I know that you have in the notes about the power play, which I also think is a problem. There's just people that I feel like need to be contributing to this team who are not. And I wish that maybe some of the younger guys would get a shot as we get a little bit closer. They're obviously going to be playing in the postseason at this point. Seeding does matter, but I wish some of these younger guys were kind of being pushed a little harder.
I think the like line that's really stood out to me is that fourth line does not get enough credit. I don't think they give up the offensive production that the Bruins need right now, but it's like the little things they're doing. And then also like Nick Foligno, Mark McLaughlin, and Curtis Lazar, I feel like they've been kind of the heart of this team the last couple of weeks, because the top line, like I know Marchand said this morning, he's like, I've not been performing the way I wanted to, which like I like honestly have not really super noticed that, just because he is such a strong player, and that I'm not really like, oh, he needs to be contributing more. Like I'm like, okay, I know he's gonna figure it out. Like I don't know, he's not someone I'm concerned with. The second line has definitely been tough to watch without Pastrnak. Just like the power play has been atrocious without him. Defense is still my biggest concern. Yep. I'm glad that Lindholm's practicing. You know, Carlo got back pretty quickly. That was good. Ullmark's practicing again. All three of those guys, like Pasta, Lindholm, Ullmark, all are near return, it sounds like, which is going to be huge, I think, for the power play, not just because of Pasta, but also Lindholm was becoming a big part of that power play unit too. Yeah. But
he was just starting to like find his feet, and then
so I feel like that sucked. And now their power play is like 0 for 25 on their last opportunities. Yeah. And I like looked it up earlier today. I wish there was a way that I could have just like looked like just the last like few games or whatever. They're 21.36% on the power play, so like middle of the pack. But I feel like I especially saw it now that we've played the Blues twice in the last week, and they're number 2 in the league. The Bruins power play is the problem, and you cannot go into the playoffs with your power play unit looking like that, again, you'll have Pasta back, you'll have Lindholm back. That's huge. That's going to make a big difference. But I'm like, you should not suffer that much on the power play with the man advantage just because you're missing those two guys. And I did hate on the ESPN broadcast, like, well, they're missing Krug. Like, I know it was because of the Blues, but not like Krug was their quarterback and they've been missing him, like, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, that's been 2 years now. They've figured it out. Like, I have never been like, oh, this power play is lacking Torrey Krug. We have Charlie McAvoy. Charlie McAvoy's done a great job coming into that role. I like, yeah, in the beginning, I was like, oh, we really need Torrey Krug back. I'm like, it has nothing to do with fucking Torrey Krug. Like, just in general, right now, obviously injuries has a lot to do with it. But I'm like, Charlie McAvoy cannot do everything for you, and you need to be converting on those man advantages.
McAvoy's back has to be hurting because this team is on it.
Like, this poor fucking like, he did that post-game interview the other night after he had the overtime goal, and he's like up against the wall, like couldn't even see him. I'm like, yeah, he's probably fucking tired. Like, he's on the ice for like 30 plus minutes every night, more than anyone else. Now you're gonna make the poor kid go out 3-on-3. He's like, fuck it, I'll do it myself. Which I will say, Jake DeBrusk, that was a great feed. Jake DeBrusk has someone that's still been performing.
I love him.
I'm like, God bless. I am very glad that we still. What the hell? I'm very glad that I'm sorry, I got like a super weird text and all right. Anyways, that like threw me off. Okay. But yeah, I'm concerned about the Bruins power play. I guess we'll see what it looks like when Pasta and Lindholm come back.
Yeah. Yeah, I have nothing to say about the Sharks. So I guess we can move on. There's tons of postseason stuff. I do, before we talk about everything else, the only other thing that I wanted to note was that Ovechkin goal the other night where he was just fucking sitting at the back of the net waiting for that feed was insane.
Oh, he's fucking insane. That actually kind of ties it to, I put that there's like a lot of records broken in the last week. Like, it's been a nuts week in the NHL. So he last night had his 50th goal. It was his second goal of the game. I only know this because that was the game I was on last night, and it was on until like fucking 1 a.m. But it was Vegas Capitals. His second goal of the game was his 50th goal of the season. That's his 9th season now that he's had 50 goals, which ties him for best in the entire league, like ever, with Gretzky and Bossy. So that's pretty fucking cool, and I am sure he's going to break that record and own it for himself very soon in the next couple of years. I don't see him slowing down anytime soon.
No, I see him having like, obviously he's a better player in my opinion than Jaromir Jagr, but I could see him having like a Jaromir Jagr like career where even when he's done, he like goes to Europe and it just still plays.
Yeah. I saw someone, it was on some like young kid on hockey Twitter. It was like, Alex Ovechkin's 36. I thought this guy was like 50 the whole time. He looks so old.
Eek!
Which I'm like, I guess if you're like super young, yeah, you probably wouldn't know like that. But I'm like, he does look old. He does.
He does.
Like, come on, put some respect on his name there.
He does. I saw that you wanted to talk about Cale Makar too. Right. This is some exciting news.
Yeah, so Cale Makar now holds the Avalanche franchise records for defensemen in a season. He reached 83 points the other day, beating Steve Dushenzi from 1993. We fucking love Cale Makar here. I actually just ordered a Cale Makar jersey a couple weeks ago. It's coming soon. I'm very excited. But all hail Cale Makar. He just does everything right. He's good at everything. And he's just a cute little bean.
He is so cute. I know we talk about him all the time, but like, he's so adorable and like, he's fun to watch. He's really good. Like I understand why, and we talk about the young kids on hockey Twitter all the time, but I understand why they are so in love with him.
Oh yeah, I feel like that's when I connect most with those young kids. They'll like say something about Cale Makar. I'm like, so true, queens.
So true, besties. So true.
I ordered a Cale Makar sticker that I have on my laptop right now, but the girl, like, I ordered it over Redbubble, and she messaged me. She's like, I think I follow you on Twitter. And I was like, oh, really? She was like, yeah. you tweet about Cale Makar a lot, so like this makes sense.
That is so funny. Did you post that somewhere? You should have. That's hilarious.
I didn't want to blow up her spot or anything because I didn't know. Like, I feel like a lot of them use different names or like don't put their picture on there.
Yeah. Oh, cute. I love that.
But yeah, I was like, aw.
That's a cute little moment. I'm trying to read through anything else before we talk about matchups.
Just I had a couple more, just like because it was like crazy with the records. Johnny Gaudreau became the 5th player in Flames history, reached 600 points. He hit career high goal number 37 this season. He is the main reason that I like. People were clowning on me a couple months ago. I was like, Flames could make a serious Stanley Cup push. Like, shut the fuck up. They would not beat the Panthers. Yes, they would. They absolutely could. This roster, they beat the fucking. Granted, it was the Coyotes. I don't care who your opponent is. They beat the Coyotes 9-1. 9-1. Any team that could do that to any and I know the Coyotes we like joke like I mean they're barely an NHL team, but still.
Hey, I'm a Jaguars fan. Watch it.
I will say Nick Ritchie had the one goal for the Coyotes. I was like, as my king should.
And I'm a Chrome fan now, so I take that personally. And I like the Sharks. What the fuck? It's just a personality trait. I have shitty teams.
Well, you like the Bucks. They're good.
Finally.
Yeah.
It only took my entire life. I love when people are like, oh, yeah, you're a Bucks fan. I'm like, brother, let me tell you the other teams I support. Okay? Suck my ass.
Well, I was going to say on the category of 9-1 games, the NHL set a record this weekend, and I joked, I was like, they are juicing the pucks. Because I feel like more goals are being scored this season than I've ever seen before. And this just proved it when the NHL like stats account doing this. There's 153 goals last week, 102 on Saturday, 51 on Sunday. I had 2 games on Saturday that were both 7-4. Both games ended 7-4. I'm like, that's a weird hockey score. Okay. Then the next day I had the Blues Predators game, which ended 8-3. The Blues put up 7 goals in the second period, and fucking obviously, like that was the most goals that's ever been scored in a weekend in NHL history. No shit. 9-1 game.
You're like, I know.
Game in one day.
You're like, I know.
What the fuck are you guys doing to those pucks? I'm sorry, conspiracy. Just like when like baseballs are juiced, pucks are juiced.
Hockey bettors start taking the over. That's the consensus here.
Especially with the Flames. Always take the over with the Flames. In the Panthers,
look at us with the betting advice. Yes, bitch. The number 1 betting podcast in Mexico right here. Yeah, okay. Canucks. You want to talk about this too? And then we'll get into our playoff matchup stuff.
So Canucks making a last-minute playoff push. They're 4 points off of the second wildcard spot that Dallas is in right now. Vegas is trailing Dallas by 2 points. Fuck Vegas. Fuck the Golden Knights. Fuck Jack Eichel. And I love that now people are like twisted. Like, is Jack Eichel the problem? Yes. I have beat with Jack Eichel, and I am twisting this into the Jack Eichel conundrum. Like, he left the Sabres. The Sabres are more fun to watch than they ever have been in years now. And now he's well, actually, Eichel's been pretty good with Golden Knights, I will say. I'll give it to him. The Golden Knights, they need every single point they could get. Last night they went to overtime with the Capitals, and like the broadcast, because I was listening to the Vegas broadcast, like they need 2 points. We can't just take one. Like we need every bit. I was like, fuck you, Vegas. They did end up winning, gave it 2 points, but I'm like, I want them to miss it so bad, and I would love to see the Canucks in the playoffs. I know as a Bostonian, I'm not supposed to like the Canucks. I love this team. A lot of it is I love Quinn Hughes. I love Thatcher Demko. But I want to see them in the playoffs so fucking bad. And also, the Canucks have one of the best fan bases. Their fans are fucking hilarious. And I just would much rather see them than the Golden Knights in there. And the Stars, I'm just kind of like indifferent to, like Tyler Seguin, whatever. I don't know. I do love Jake Ottinger. I love Jake Ottinger.
I love Jake Ottinger. We've talked about him before too.
Yes.
You saw, I just perked up. I was like, I love him. He's so cute. I love him. I guess we can talk about, playoff stuff now. I have the like projected matchups in front of me. I see that you have your two favorites in the notes.
Yes. My two favorite matchups as they stand right now is the Minnesota Wild versus the St. Louis Blues. The Blues, I think, have beat the Wild now like 3 times this season. They've seen each other 3 times. The Blues are a very good team. They're a very different team than they were in 2019. I love the Wild. I love Kirill Kaprizov. He's one of my favorite players in the league. I would love to see them make a significant push. And I think their toughest competition as of right now is that opening series, like against the Blues. So I think that'll be a very, very good playoff matchup. And then also New York Rangers versus Pittsburgh Pirates, Pittsburgh Penguins. Two
big baseball girls.
I was in the baseball, hockey's all mixed in. The other day I said the Red Sox were playing the Red Wings. So
I said something like that recently too. And I was just like, I need to stop watching so many fucking sports in one day.
But yeah, I'm like, okay, Rangers versus Penguins. I think it's going to be such a good match. That's how it ends up. Because obviously those two teams fucking hate each other. Those two fan bases hate each other. I feel like they're very evenly well matched up. And I really do think the Rangers can make a significant push. The Penguins do scare me. The Rangers scare me a lot more. I think that will be like top tier playoff hockey.
Okay. My favorite matchups, I think, are the Panthers and Capitals game, just because it's kind of, for me, like the old guys who are like, it feels like two old teams that are like trying to win a championship one more time. And I kind of love that.
I agree. I like, because obviously I'm rooting. In that case, I would be rooting for the Panthers.
Me too.
But like, I feel like, yeah, you got like Claude Giroux on one side, you got Alex Ovechkin on the other. I think actually my pick would just be the Panthers solely because I want Claude Giroux to win a Stanley Cup. Ovechkin has had his. He's going to probably get another, and he's going to have a lot more accolades. I'm like, get that poor man his fucking Stanley Cup. You tore him away from his team, and you threw him in Florida. So,
see, I am a Joe Thornton fan, obviously, because I'm a Sharks fan, and like that's just like I just love that man. Yeah. And I don't like Ovechkin. Like I think that obviously he's a great player, one of the greatest to ever live. Like he's super fun to watch just as a person. I don't vibe with him. So there we go. That's how I feel. And then my other favorite matchup, actually, Avalanche Stars. Potentially, obviously, these are. I think that's, as of what's projected, my favorite other matchup, just because we love Cale Makar, obviously, and like I feel like those are two fun teams. Like I feel like it's like a good guy versus bad guys because people like don't love Sagan and like Boston fans don't. So I feel like I don't know. I think it'll be fun to watch. Just because I'm cheering for the Avalanche. Those were my picks early on, so I'm going to be cheering for them the entire time. But I don't know. I think I like watching Dallas, so I don't know. There we go.
I feel like Avalanche would just like steamroll Dallas.
You do? See, I feel like Dallas, or at least
they should. They should.
They should, but Dallas like is kind of feisty, you know? I feel like they're like the kid that if you smack them one too many times, like they're nuts enough to just do some fucked up shit.
Good the last few weeks. I'm like, this is the time. Like they're picking the perfect time to be like everything clicking.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think that could be exciting. I am excited to watch those other games. I mean, the Stanley Cup playoffs are the best playoffs in sports. I'm sorry. Easily. Like I'm going to prioritize this over basketball unless the Bucks are playing. Like it doesn't matter what's on. Like I will be watching these games. And I know you will be for work, but it's like, even if it wasn't work for you, like you would be watching every single game that you can.
Oh yeah. They're my favorite, like top pick, like bar none. That is my favorite playoff series to watch. So
me too. Yep. I have a couple NBA things I want to talk about before we start to close out the show. Obviously it is the postseason in the NBA. I fucking hate Tristan Thompson, obviously because he's a piece of shit, but like, and people might be like, oh, come on, like, blah. No, fuck off. Like if you cheat on your pregnant girlfriend like that, especially with her sister's friend, and then you knock another girl up and you're cheating on her while she's in labor. Like, fuck that, I'm out, first of all.
Yeah.
But then you lay a finger on Bobby Portis, you are fucking dead to me. I feel like this is like the John Henry thing all over again. Like, I will be in your walls. Like, Bobby Portis was escorted off the court last night, bleeding from his face. So fuck you, Tristan Thompson, and fuck the Chicago Bulls. I'm not concerned still about this series as a Bucks fan. It's tied 1-1. Like, the Bucks are just so much better than Chicago. Like, they're fine. Like, I don't know. DeRozan's fine. Like, obviously he's really good. Tristan Thompson, fuck you. You're still fine though. Like, I owe an apology to Celtics fans. I have been kind of a Celtics hater all year. The chemistry just wasn't there. And then obviously they secured a pretty high seed in the playoffs. They're leading the series 2-0 over Brooklyn, and Brooklyn has so much talent. And Jaylen Brown obviously has impressed me. Earlier in the season last year, I said that I think that they should have traded Marcus Smart, but he has been very clearly a really good piece for them this postseason so far. Him and Jaylen Brown are having great chemistry. I think that Jason Tatum obviously is one of the best players in the league. And they've impressed me, but I do have to say, I feel as though as good as they are playing, they've only had to really shut down one of the two between Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving to be successful. And I think they've figured that out and they've capitalized on it. But TD Garden is really what's winning this series for me. Celtics fans are fucking crazy. Like, people who prioritize the Celtics, the city of Boston, are my favorite fans.
Really?
My favorite. Like, Celtics fans are my favorite.
Okay.
Like, I love them. The relentless just fuck Kyrie everything, and Kyrie's fine for, I will say, I think finding Kyrie is soft. Like, obviously something needed to happen. Like, you can't be flipping off fans and whatever. But like, I don't know. People are relentless. And it's like, yeah, that's part of being an athlete. That's part of the fun of going to a game, is getting to cheer people and stuff. But it feels kind of like a fucking circus, in my opinion. Like, how many times can you poke an animal without it like responding? Like, these people are still people.
That's true. That's very true, actually.
So I'm just like, I think that that's kind of soft. Like, if people are going to sit there and fucking dick around with Kyrie, you better police them a little bit better, or the like fines are going to have to get a little bit softer, because at the same time, like, we can't have people on TV going around like flipping the bird and stuff, but it's like, that's kind of harmless. Like, I don't know. Like, I feel like you either have to not let people like be that insane, or like something's got to give here, because that's just not fair.
Yeah. I feel like if anything, they should just kind of let it fly and like be like, let him play, let him do whatever. Because the fucking crowd loves it. They love it.
It's true. Yeah, it's true. And you know, because of that, like, you know that some Nets shops somewhere are making like t-shirts out of this. People are probably making fuck Kyrie t-shirts. Like, there's going to be merchandise and money to be made for people here. Like, it's clickbait, whatever. Like, fuck it. It's 2022. Things are a little bit edgier. I feel like the NBA, that's one of the things that they do really well, is that they let people be themselves, and they're a little bit edgier than the other leagues. And I like that about it. So if you're going to play that card, fucking play the card. You can't do it half-assed.
Fair.
So that's my thoughts there. Sorry, Celtics fans. I don't know if that's going to hurt some people's feelings. It's just how I feel. But I think that the fans at TD are absolutely putting on a show. I am not concerned. I mean, I'm concerned for Brooklyn going down 2-0, but at the same time, they're going home. They're the Nets. If they get any sort of momentum, they could, if a team's going to push this to a game 7, it's either going to be Golden State, or to a game 7 going down 2-0. It's either going to be Golden State or it's going to be Brooklyn. And unfortunately for the Celtics, they're playing one of those two teams right now. So I think the TD Garden needs to continue to show up and show out if this is going to be a lockdown series for the Celtics. But even if they do survive this series, I am a little bit concerned for them still going down the stretch, but I've been saying that for quite some time. My only other basketball thought is I think that no matter what, speaking of Golden State in the West, whoever comes out of the West is going to win an NBA championship. That is just going to be determined between whether it's the Suns or Golden State. I think that those two teams are playing far and above each other. And if they wind up playing each other in the Western Conference Finals, one of those two teams is going to be riding such a high. Like, that's just, and the fact that the fucking Warriors are having to consider having Steph Curry come off the bench is, for a kid, is not a bad problem to have. Let me tell you. So that's just, the Warriors, they scare the shit out of me right now. So if they play the Bucks, I'm going to be shaking and crying. So those are my basketball thoughts of the week. We are going to move into our sort of closing topics for the show. Pop culture shit of the week. I saw this, but I don't understand what it is.
Okay. So John Daly, John Daly, obviously crazy golfer, whatever, super, super famous. His son plays college golf and he's an NIL ambassador for Hooters now. And they're the first father-son duo because his dad's a part of it too. First ever NIL deal that's father and son. They're partnering up with Hooters. They're going to be doing a lot of social media campaigns, whatnot. Very on brand for John Daly, so that makes sense. It was his son's comment that I thought was the funniest fucking thing in the world. He was like, in his statement, he's like, I've seen what the great company of Hooters has done for my father. Like, well, I'm like, yeah, I'm sure you have. And I'm like, don't get me wrong, I fucking love Hooters.
I love Hooters.
But I'm like, you're making it sound like it's this crazy prestigious company that has I don't know. He's like, I've seen what they've done for my father. I'm like, yes, we all know who your dad is. We all know his reputation. This all very much is on brand and checks out. But have some fun with the statement. It sounded so goofy.
Sarah, we need to go to a Philadelphia Hooters.
Yes. Don't have to ask me twice. I'm there.
I fucking love Hooters, and I can't think of a better place to go to a Hooters outside of maybe Daytona Beach.
I'm like, I've been to Hooters. I've been to a few Hooters down in Florida. I've been to the one here in Dedham. We gotta go to Philly Hooters.
Yes. If you have a favorite Philadelphia Hooters, please let us know. I know we have a few Philly fans that listen to this show because we fucking love the city of Philadelphia so much. So please let us know your Hooters recommendations because we are here for Hooters. Hooters French fries are so good.
Oh, their chicken wings. I'm not usually someone that gets chicken wings out. I could fuck up chicken wings.
I've never had a chicken wing.
They're so fucking good.
The bones freak me out.
See, I really don't I used to eat them a lot. I don't really eat them a lot anymore, but if I'm at Hooters, I'm gonna fuck up some chicken wings.
Okay,
Mark
question.
Your fucking word. Yes.
If we go to a Philly Hooters, will you pull a piece of a wing off and give it to me and I will try it?
Okay, yeah, I'll do that.
Romance. Okay, I'm gonna try a chicken wing at a Philly Hooters. It's happening. Wow, cherry popping at Hooters. What a time. So my pop culture shit of the week. Obviously, one of us had to talk about it. I figured it would be yours if I didn't put it down, but it's all I've thought about all week. Harry Styles and Shania Twain at Coachella. Actually, can we just talk about Coachella as a whole?
I would say I thought it was Coachella actually could be my tea party. That could be something because that whole Evolve Fest, whatever the fuck that was.
I am on that side of TikTok.
Yes, me too. That's how I know all these things. I'm like, what the hell is Revolve Fest?
Okay, let's talk about it. So obviously, I don't have anything other than about the Harry Styles and Shania Twain thing to say other than one, that Gucci outfit is my dream outfit. 2, that was the most iconic performance of all time. And 3, I have never been so jealous of that many people in my life. That is the show that I feel like I needed to see before I died.
Yeah, I'm so jealous of those people. And if you have not seen it, go look it up on YouTube because it was just watching it. I'm like, holy shit, this is so fucking good. It's just the most iconic duo. And like Harry's like saying with Stevie Nicks too, I'm like, it doesn't get any better than this.
No.
This honestly, this might be his one competition. Shania Twain, you can't beat that.
Those first few notes hit. And I was like watching it on TikTok and I was like, you're fucking joking. So that was insane. But okay, so if you are not like involved in pop culture, obviously everyone knows what Coachella is. There is this like clothing brand that is like basically what every influencer ever posts about and wears and whatever. They do like this festival close to Coachella for these influencers, which is basically what it's come out to be, is like a content event where like people just go and like take pictures and like outfits and stuff. But there was like some drama. Like it sounded like people like couldn't get in and had all these tickets and like couldn't get on buses and couldn't get back and we're spending all this money on Ubers. Like, what have you heard?
I saw the first video from day one. Like day one just sounded like a complete shit show. Someone compared it to like Fyre Fest 2.0, which I feel like we overuse that phrase because people say that about a lot of things. I'm like, I don't think this was Fyre Fest 2.0, but I think you have to think about the people you have there. It's a bunch of social media influencers that are there solely for, like you said, like it's a content festival. Pretty much Coachella is turning into a content festival at this point too, but this particularly, Revolve Fest, is an actual just content festival. Like you could very clearly tell, like the way it's set up, like it's made for just taking pictures, like videos, whatever. Like that is its sole purpose, is to get content there. And so you have all these people there, and I think it was trying to get to Coachella. There wasn't enough buses or something. And then you kind of had like a fight of the egos going on because it's like, oh, well, I have more followers than you. I see on the bus, like blah, blah, blah. Like a lot of pettiness to it, which I feel like kind of almost like on the outside looking in, just like hearing from him, like this is kind of the danger of the whole like influencer. Like
that is my biggest fear.
Yeah, like that they're like fighting each other. Like I have more social media followers. Like, do you understand how crazy that sounds? Like I have more, so I should be able to get on the bus and not stand the 100-degree weather without any water. Like that's insane. But then I also saw someone else make a TikTok. They're like, I'm so shocked that the clothing company could not put on a competent like festival for hundreds and hundreds of people. And it's like Revolve, like they use these people, like you said, like that's the only thing they ever fucking post about. Like top from Revolve, pants from Revolve. Shut the fuck up. And I saw someone, they're like, Shein, no, Revolve is like the rich people Shein. It really is. Because if you look at the clothes, I'm like, I've seen the stuff on Shein, except it's so much more expensive, and I'm sure the quality is not that much better.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. That's exactly what it is. I did see, so I followed this vlogger. Her name is Sarah, actually, for like years, because like I love her style and like I just love her as a person. She's very much like always been like a size 6, like fuck it, like I don't care about you, like your attitude towards women's bodies, like this is my body, I'm gonna wear what I want. Like she's just like, she's so cool, like she's fucking awesome. And I followed her since she was like a teenager, and she went with Revolve. Like I know that there was like a bunch of people who like if you spent X amount of money you could go, and then they invited certain people and then certain people were VIP. She was like one of those like VIP people that like they gave her clothing and flew her out and gave her like a wristband and stuff like that. And she posted a video today that was like spilling the tea to talk about it, but I haven't had a chance to watch it yet.
I'm like very interested because I saw that girl who made the day one and she was like, oh, it's a shit show, like blah, blah. Then day 2, she's like, oh no, like everything's so much better now, like blah, blah, blah. I'm like, is it actually, or were they like, hey, shut up?
Yeah, I don't know. So I'm excited to see how this kind of unfolds. Like, and as people start to talk, I think it's going to be really interesting. And if I'm not happy that people like suffered or whatever, but I'm kind of glad that this first like kind of blow up of like influencers and influencer spots has kind of revealed some things so that like younger girls who are struggling with this body image and that I need to be able to afford these clothes and stuff like that can maybe see not to get wrapped up in these types of things because they can be really scary. And like contracts and stuff are scary.
Oh yeah. Do you follow Remy Bader on TikTok?
No.
She does like the realistic body hauls, like clothing hauls, whatever. And so I love her. She's so funny. And I think she was at Revolve Fest, but she made a lot of content at Coachella, just basically be like, I'm miserable. Like, this is not fun. She was like, I'm just like standing here listening to the music, trying to enjoy myself. She was like, there's people everywhere. Like, for someone that's like more introverted or just like not about it, she's like, this is a miserable time. And you just feel pressured to be putting out content and taking all these pictures. And that's all anyone's doing. She's like, it almost just feels like a big content factory. And there just happens to be music in the background.
Yeah, that's so sad because like you think about it too, like for the few people who actually go for the music, like that sucks.
And like, I don't know, I feel like even like 5 years ago or so, you saw a lot more celebrities going and like it was all this like big build up to what the lineup was going to be, like all this stuff. And like fucking Harry Styles was there, and the bigger story that came out of it was
Revolve Fest.
Like there's way less celebrities going, which I'm like, okay, whatever. But I'm like, they're just being replaced with influencers. I know like Hailey Bieber went and everyone's like, oh my God, she's just wearing like a crop top and jeans. Like it was this like crazy revolutionary thing. And I'm like, I'm not the biggest Hailey Bieber fan. I'm kind of indifferent to her. But I'm like, she's just going to enjoy yourself. I don't know.
Yeah, that's the thing is that like, as someone who actually has gone to festivals, there is no way in fucking hell I will repeat that. There is no way in fucking hell I would be caught in any of that shit that those people are in, because I, first of all, would go for the music. Second of all, festivals are dirty and nasty and your shit gets fucked up and you want to be comfortable and people are climbing on you and crawling on you and on drugs. And it's like, that's fine. That's cool. That's what you sign up for when you go to festivals. I really don't give a shit. But it's like, you need to, like, people are going to get cut if you have all that crap on you and people are going to break your stuff. And like, just go dress like a normal person and you'll have more fun and actually be able to enjoy the music. Wear a pair of sneakers you don't mind getting fucked up. Also, the fact that none of these people are wearing things over their face. If you've never been to a festival, you wouldn't know that like the amount of dirt and shit that gets kicked up in those fields. My first festival, I had no idea. I had like dirt like coming out of my nose for days.
See, I went to Boston Calling in 2017. Obviously, that's not near on the scale of like Coachella or like Lollapalooza or something, but still, that was like the first festival I've ever been to. And I was just going because the lineup that year was like so fucking good. But I remember I went the first day and I wore sandals. And I was like, I'm never fucking do that again. I wore sneakers the last 2 days, and not like sneakers I care about because they got trashed. There was like mud, dirt, like
yeah. And it's like, I see all these girls wearing like heels or brand new shoes and stuff. And then people are posting like pictures of their blisters and crying about it. And I'm like, what did you think?
Yeah.
You're in the middle of the fucking desert in brand new shoes. Like, I don't know. I just like, I understand like, obviously as people who do social media for a living, we understand how you make money on social media, but it's like, that also goes back into playing into the realistic expectations of things and these young girls. And like, it's very sad. Very sad.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah. Tea party segment. Mine's very quick. I just have to make note that the crazy frog is dead.
I saw that tweet. I laughed so hard.
And on Easter, no less. Like, are you fucking kidding me? If you don't know what the crazy frog is, I feel bad for you. I think that this is like very much like an older Gen Z thing. Like, I feel like this is very niche, but like, I was very upset by this. I can't tell you how many times I would be listening to XM Radio Disney and like be craving for that song to come on.
Radio Disney, that's what it was called. They fucking loved that song. And I remember a girl I did gymnastics with, her floor music was the instrumental of it. I had never been more jealous of someone in my life.
That is so iconic. That girl like had it going on.
Really?
Yeah, so I was really upset by that this week. We also chat before the show about like what's going on with ASAP Rocky and Rihanna. And we thought that this would be like a good thing to bring up this week, but honestly, neither of us know what the fuck is going on.
No, there's so many like conflicting reports because like, oh, it was started off with him reportedly cheating on her, but there was like no confirmation of it. Then they're like, no, that's not true, whatever. Then he got detained at LAX. Was it yesterday morning now? I think it was yesterday morning. And they said he was linked with some shooting, but then something else came out today and they're like, no, like it wasn't him. Like he was framed, like it was someone else that I don't even know. I literally don't understand what's going on in this.
Why do I feel like this is somehow like Drake wanting to date Rihanna and being like low-key insane?
I wouldn't put him past him. Did you see Drake and Taylor Swift were hanging out together?
Oh my God. Yes, I saw this. Okay, why do I feel like whatever kind of music they're making is going to be more mid than the Jack Harlow song that just came out and everyone's going to freak out about it?
It's going to be bad.
Yeah, everyone's like, oh my God, they're making music and it's going to be awful.
I'm like, don't get me wrong. I love both their music individually. It's not meant to be. It's not meant to mix.
Yep.
Please.
If Taylor Swift,
for the love of God.
Actually, I'm sorry, Taylor Swift fans, you can cancel me yet again. I pray to God for the sake of the memes and the TikToks that Taylor Swift tries to rap.
Well, see, I don't think she'll try to rap just because she's like done a song before with like Kendrick Lamar.
I remember that.
That doesn't even like get that much because it was just like I kind of just stuck into one of her songs. I feel like if anything, that's what this is. I don't know. It's like you said, it's gonna be mid. Whatever it is that they're up to, meh.
Mid. Tweets of the week. I had one and then had an even crazier situation happen to me today. So I want to talk about one thing really quick and then I'll let you do yours. And then while I pull up the one that I had for the day, I don't know if you saw this. Did you see the guy playing the guitar on the flight singing worship songs?
I sure fucking did.
I would have shoved that guitar down that guy's fucking esophagus. That is literally my nightmare. Like if that happened to me when I was hungover coming back from Vegas on Sunday morning, that man, I would put myself in handcuffs. I'm like, shit you not.
Considering just the bad luck I've had with airlines, I'm like, that would be my final straw. Like that would be it. Send me out of the fucking plane at this point.
Like I would absolutely kill that guy. How does that even happen? I would be buzzing the fucking attendant thing like no tomorrow. Or I would just start screaming the F word. I don't know. Okay, before I do my other tweet of the week, I have to find it. I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, so I posted a picture of me at Fenway opening day. Like, I don't know what people like. This is going to sound weird. I don't think people notice that. Like, I don't know how to put this. They have boobs because it like blew the fuck up. I was at the game and I did not check my phone, and then I get out and my picture that I posted myself on Twitter has 45 quote retweets. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And I looked at them all and they're interesting. I don't want to really repeat any of them. There was one of like a video of a guy that looked, yeah, it was a lot.
Now I am going to go down this rabbit hole immediately.
Okay, I know like, I'm like, seriously? You're that shocked? I don't know. I got out of the game and I'm like, why do I have like 5 billion notifications? And I looked and I was like, oh, like I have a lot of likes on my picture. That's probably why. But then I was like, why does it have 90 retweets? But then like 45 of them were quotes. And I was just going through like horrified. I'm like, I'm never posting another fucking picture where my body ever fucking again. These are so scary.
That I have to go read those immediately.
Right now, like one of them was like, she's back. What breakup? Like, that was like one of the more normal ones. So I'm like, what are you talking about? Like my breakup from like a year ago? I don't know. A lot of them are just like gross.
Well, fuck those guys. I hope that I might go respond to some, just bully some people. Because that's what happened to me today. That's my other tweet of the week. So some fucking asshole on Twitter said, I have respect for many females in the sports betting industry, but I can't stand the ones who use their physique to advertise a bet. I'm going to start taking off my shirt with my beer belly hanging low, holding a slip and advertising my plays that way. So I quote tweeted it and called the guy a clown. And then someone responded to me and decided to fucking like lose their mind. It was insane. Okay, so where's the first one? Okay, so fuck. I lost it. Where is this guy? Okay, yeah. Someone responded to my like clown tweet and said, fascinated by the steady stream of advice from men to women about what women should and shouldn't do here. And I said, yep. And some guy started out this whole argument by saying, way to agree with a 7-digit Twitter handle instead of taking any accountability or being positive. And I said, LOL, what exactly am I taking responsibility for? Please inform me. And he goes, laugh it off, keep hating, we see you, 100. And he goes, that if you, I didn't respond. And he goes, actually, I'm done seeing you, just smash the unfollow button.
Okay.
And he deleted his tweet since, and I like quote tweeted it, and I was like, whatever, you fucking loser. Like, I'm not mad that someone like wanting me to apologize to men is unfollowing me or whatever. And he goes, peace and love, and then has like deleted a bunch of his tweets since, but like keeps like going after people that are like commenting on it still. And he's like, he said, LOL, you are everything terrible about social media. Swallow that with your Kung Pao chicken.
What?
Yeah. And then was like, just like kept going after people, like being a lunatic and saying stuff that I'm not gonna like say out loud. Oh my God. He literally just started commenting on stuff again. Like literally 30 seconds ago, I just got notifications. He goes, oh my God, this is so good. I love this so much. But I love how, oh my God, they're still going. Oh my God, this is amazing.
This was all this morning and he's still going?
It was all this morning and it stopped for a couple hours. And literally the second I started talking about it, I started getting more notifications that these two dudes are still arguing after he deleted all these tweets. But my point is that like, I don't understand what I'm supposed to be apologizing for, first of all. But also like the guy who's like, stop hating, like peace and love, blah, 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 is like now fucking like screaming at people that they sound like they're having a seizure and that like that they're fat and like stuff like that on my Twitter page. And I'm like, you are fucking mental.
Oh my God.
That's crazy. Like insane.
Yeah.
Yep. So I think that our tweets of the week are just how shitty men are. What else is new? I don't have any closing thoughts. Do you?
I think so.
Okay. Thanks so much for listening to Saturdays and Seltzers. We love you guys. We will see you for draft week. Keep on sipping, y'all, and we'll see you next week.
Yeehaw.